premiere this weekend. I'm sure you've explored them all a bit, and you can see it has changed a lot. So that's why you have me show you all the little bits that I'm sorry that you're I'm in a rush to get here and get all my stuff out of the car because I've been ferrying, our lead actors from the movie back and forth to the hotel to here and to the airport and stuff. And I had to make sure that I got my stuff. I love that. I actually people here, they are Romero and Maddie. And I used to listen to these guys here, Eric and John Scott. They have a podcast called Rooftop. Did all kinds of Romero and stuff here. And I used to listen and learn from them. But then I kept researching, and I just keep going crazy because I get obsessive about it. I really love it, and I never stop. And then at some point now, I'm like, bringing them on a tour, it's just weird. Very, very weird, but cool. And I know a lot of you too. Facebook and stuff. And I've got the performance, all that. I know a lot of my names. Some of you, if I don't know you, please send me a friend request. I don't mind. Share your pictures, tag me, all that stuff. Take a million pictures. Whatever I show you, it's all good. We are going to a bunch of things in, back hallways, control room, stairway up to their hideout. And these things are not accessible to the public, only on this tour. Please but please do not go back there on your own. We only have special permission on this tour. Let's take as many pictures as you want while we are back there. So as I said, this is the biker entrance. At the end of the movie, all the bikers, the one biker in the sombrero, played by Tony Bova, he's here appearing this weekend. He blows off the block, slides open the bay doors, and we all arrive on motorcycles in. Also of note, as they are leaving, when Peter is in the ceiling shooting at the bikers, one head biker is riding in the motorcycle in the sidecar, comes out of this entrance, and you see him in the sights of Peter, and he shoots him, and he falls off the back of the motorcycle, right over here, and that's where you see the view of the zombies all swarming in around him, and they tear him apart, Of course, you see a lot of shots in the movie of zombies outside glass doors. That would have been these glass doors right here. They're all trying to get into these doors. Notably, the one zombie that's in his swim trunks is rather heavy. He bumps his belly up to the glass and the barrier. Yeah. You can see the rock wall and stuff behind him. Oh, good. Also, note, this is where they park the trucks when they block the second entrance. The first time they use a truck to block an entrance is on the old main part of the mall, which I'll show you later on. This is the second spot where they use a truck to block the doors. And what they would have done was there's a road back here. We can't see it right now, but later on at the end of the tour, you'll be able to see it good when we come out right up here. That's where the bikers all come down. That's where the trucks come down. But in the shot, you'll see the trucks go diagonally across the parking lot and go that way. Then all of a sudden, they're around here, and they back up and put the two trucks right along here. A little bit of magic, as you can see, when I show it to you out there. They're going directly across the parking lot towards the old JC Penney. That doesn't lead to right here, but it's all of a sudden over here. So what they do is they pull one truck up here, block this entrance, and then they pull up a truck beside that one, right here. And then Roger gets out to get into Peter's truck. Of course, they leave, he forgot his bag. I forgot my bag! And they go back, and that's where Roger gets fit in between the two trucks.
Wow.
Also during the biker raid, when they all come up over to the mall, you'll see a zombie get shot. And if you follow along your program, I have a lot of these points that I'm going to show you. And we're going to follow along like this. On the top, next row, next row, next row, and so on and so forth. So there's the trucks blocking the entrance. And this is the zombie I'm talking about. It's got this rock wall right here. I'll show you and demonstrate, what happened. I do a lot of little demonstrations along the way. I do some of the dialogue. try to make it as fun as I can, as informative as I can, and hopefully it's fun for you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So in your program, you can see these rocks and the blood splatters over these rocks. He's just standing here, gets shot, just like that. Yeah, I'm trying not to fall, you know, there's only so far I'll go. And I believe that covers everything out here pretty much. Now let's move inside. Come in behind me so everybody can come in, then I'll turn around and tell you a bunch of things about this spot. And this scarf is really hot around my neck. So also, if you've seen any behind the scenes footage, come in behind me, please. Come in behind me. George always puts it a lot of time on one of his the loops on his pants. Please come in behind me. Please come in behind me, and I'll turn around and give you a talk. Please come in behind me. So I'm going to put it there, hanging down just like George. Alright, so now, like I just told you outside, you see so many shots of the zombies coming into the mall, trying to get in at these doors. They're all falling at the glass, and I'll do a little reenactment here too. One of the zombies trying to get in.
Yes.
Right. All right. In the movie, this is also the set of doors that they first lock after they steal the car. So what you see in the shot as the car comes down the hallway, you can see this brick wall along the side of them, and the car comes directly down the side, comes around here, and you see these doors, and then it parks here diagonally. Peter and Steven get out, lock the doors, set the alarm, which we're going to seal somewhere over here. And these are the first set of doors that they lock. Later on, we'll get to the second set. Now moving along down here. Along the way, sometimes people have questions, and just about 99% of the time, the questions they're going to ask ends up being covered later on. And I try to think about what you might want to hear about or what you might want to know where it happened, and I pretty much cover all those questions.
Like selfies take from the car. I mean, the house, the pit of fire.
I get it.
Tell them to stop the tour for a moment.
Coming in close so you can hear, although I'm not, I think I'm pretty loud. What's that? I am. All right, if you have not already figured it out, in the movie, this is where the fountain was. Directly here behind me, in the center. It is now Mr. Rogers' playground for children. The fountain was removed in 2001, and that's where the bikers all come in, of course, from these doors. They ride around the fountain. At the time of filming, you'll know there was no escalator here, and they had the fountain. The reason they have the escalator now is because they had a set of stairs just beyond that column, pretty much where empty Anne's is. And they had another set of stairs at the other end of the mall. Those were removed in lieu of these new escalators, because you know what? Who wants to use stairs? They put some sort of people mover or escalator, right? Exactly. And of course, you know that over the years, certain regulations had actually prevented having things like fountains and ponds. And I'll get more to that later on because it relates to a story about the last bridge that was in the mall. I have a story to tell you about that later on when we get to that spot. There's a reason why you don't see ponds and sort of fountains and things inside malls anymore. Also note in this spot is, I'm sure if you've been already to conventional reading, you'll see a cast photo at some of the actors' tables. And it has all the crew members and cast members that are gathered wearing Dawn of the Dead shirts. That photo was taken on the other side of the fountain in front of that middle marble column. They were all standing right over there, and after they took the photo probably from the other side of the fountain. Because in the shot at the bottom, it depends on the one that's out there, if it's a tropical or another one, you can see the edge of the mountain at the bottom of the frame. Also, remember in the movie, the heavier zombie gets shot during the biker's entrance, and you know he falls into the fountain. Let's put it right in the middle here. Like I said, there was a set of stairs directly in the middle here going directly up. Scanning around, I guess it's behind me here. I have a bunch of points to make all along the way. Most of the points are on the bottom. A majority of the action and such happen on the bottom floor. In the movie, you'll remember when Tom Savini is running around. At one point, he's like stopped and he's holding his seltzer bottle that he used to spray at the zombies. He's standing actually right here, and you can see the column in the shot, and he's also beside the stairs. Peter is up in the ceiling somewhere with these bullets that like must curve because there's nowhere legitimately for him to be, but that's movie magic. You don't need to know that watching the movie. So Tom is standing here, the seltzer bottle's in his hand, and he shoots it, and he looks up, and then one of the bikers runs up, played by Nick Tallow. His name on the crew is Bamba. Runs up beside him, and they look up. He's actually here appearing this weekend if you want to give him an autograph. Then they run up the stairs, and they go after Peter upstairs. And if you follow along in your program, you'll see a black and white shot of the hero. You know our four main characters in the movie. Coming right here in front of me here. And I will show you exactly where they were standing. Coming in front of me over here. Coming in right behind me. Very good. Coming right behind me. Coming right behind me. Alright. They would have been right about here in that black and white photo. It is small and it's cropped a little bit so you cannot see the column, but you see the steps on the left-hand side there. step would have been right there. And also, if you saw that photo larger and not cropped, some of the actors have it at the table. You can see this column in the shot, and you can see the pattern on the marble matches. You can see right up top there, that pattern matches in the photo. So you know that's where they were, right here. And they're all at attention. Of course, me being a fanatic and a uber fan of the movie, a bunch of my friends have recreated that shot many, many times, you know? And we get one girl, 3 guys, and we all do our pose right here and try to get it exact. Let's see. Another point of interest here. This is where the character of Sledge lands when he takes the sort of rope with flags on it. He would have been up there. He swings down and he lands under here. And then that's where he starts fighting zombies. Interesting thing about that is during the filming, on the first take, he swung down and he actually swung so fast and hard that he hit the ceiling underneath there. And luckily he wasn't hurt, but you know, they couldn't show that, you know, for whatever purposes, you know. So they did another take and then he landed perfectly and they shot that, and that's what you see in the movie. Also of note, at the time of filming, okay, and I'm gonna keep telling you where stores were. Okay, I'm gonna tell you these spots. And now you might think, oh, how does he know this happened here or this happened here? Well, what I did was, can you all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I found a brochure that was from, you know, pretty much the late 70s at the time of filming. And it had all the store's locations that you see in the movie. So what I would do is I've made my own personal map where I compare what was there at the time. Say Claire's is there now. At the time, this exact spot was a store called Ormond. So I have compared all the spots. You know, I figure out from the movie, I look in the background, okay, Ormond is in the back of this scene, and there's actually, this is where the red car was in the movie, beside Ormond. So I know Ormond is right here on the original map. And now it's Claire, so I know this is where the red car was, and this is where this happened. So I've done all that figuring so I can show you where everything took place. And I've really gone over it so many times because I try to be as accurate as possible. Otherwise, why would you even listen to me if I'm going to give you all these errors and I'm making shit up? Sorry, pardon my language.
Thank you.
So like I said, in the movie you'll notice a red car. I don't remember the model offhand. Somebody might know it, like Eric over here, or John. But in the movie you'll see Roger in his cart sitting beside it. The car would have been right in here. He's beside it. Fran comes up from shopping, puts the box in, and then she wheels him down there. A bunch of cool stuff happening over here. Okay. You see Femi over here? Okay, at the time of filming, Femi here was the store called Cheese Board. In the movie, you'll remember the scene where Steven and Peter are at the edge of a store and they're picking up some food, and I think Steven picks up a small loaf, and then Peter picks up a huge, what looks like loaf of rye bread or something, and he says, "Manja." That happened right here, and the way I know that, again, is because I compare all the backgrounds to what's still here. In the shot behind Steven, you'll see a view program. You can see in the distance 2 marble columns. The far one is right there, and you can see the pattern matches in the shot. Sometimes they might be a little small in there, but if you take the still frame out of it on your phone or whatever, you can see the pattern on the marble there matches. There are 2 marble columns in the shot behind Steven. Funny thing is, also, in this spot, you remember in the movie there's a gun store? That was not actually in the mall. That was a place called Firearms Unlimited, and it was in more towards downtown Pittsburgh in East Liberty. And they just filmed there and made it look like it was here in the mall, but the actual view out of the gun store is from in here in Cheeseport. Because across behind them, you see the zombies at the gate. You can see the sign for Ormond, which is over here, Claire's and over here. You can see that in view. Also, the maternity store would have been right here, and the bench with Fran smoking while pregnant would have been right there. Now, if we step back a little bit here, we get another view. If you want to come over here and look up, you'll see in your program, this is the spot where Tom Savini jumps over the balcony, and you can see the skylights and the middle column in the shot. At the time of filming, right here where Bath and Body Works that was Foxmore, and next to it was Naturalizer Shoes at the time. Naturalizer Shoes is the only store in the mall that's in the exact same place as it was in the movie. And if you watch Document of the Dead, the documentary on the making of Dawn, you see Tom doing this stunt. And that was actually the either second or third takes you see in there, because the first take, the first time he did the stunt, his heel missed the boxes and mattresses which would have been lined up here along this column as he did the jump, and his heel slammed on the ground and he hurt his foot and had to be in a wheelchair and wheeled around doing the effects for a couple weeks at least. But then after he healed, he did the stunt again, and that's what you see in the documentary. And it went fine, and that's the footage you see in the movie, and it happened right here. Of course, through movie trickery, the next shot after you see him go over the ledge, this shows him falling into a sort of fountain or pond. That was not right here in this spot. It was actually behind the bench where Fran was, and it would have been right in here. There was a sort of square fountain or pond that you can see his body fall into. Also, since we are right here, after the hunt, when all the characters go through the mall and they kill all the zombies, you see shots of from downstairs onto the barrier. There's one bridge that we get to later on. You see the zombie bodies all strewn about, dead. And the characters come up over here in front of Foxmore where Lenny is standing. Say hi, Len.
Hi, Lenny.
He's appearing here. Please go see him. Get an autograph picture with him. He's awesome. So this was Foxmore at the time. The heroes come walking up and they look at their handiwork right here in front of Foxmore, and they stand here and look at what happened after the hunt. Am I doing a good job, Len? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, of course you are. I know you are. Thank you. Over here, we got one view coming up for you. Okay, in the movie, I think it's during the bike parade that you will see a shot of an arm. You know, and it fires. I think it's at Peter up in the balcony, and you see that hand in the shot, and you see the store merry-go-round. It would have been right there. I'm sure a lot of the older people will remember the store merry-go-round. I don't think they're in malls anymore or anything. They probably went out of business forever. That actual arm you see in the shot was George Romero's arm. He's the one firing the gun because there are several behind-the-scenes photos and such. There are a lot of behind-the-scenes photos of the making of the movie. And you see him with the cameraman Mike Gornick filming it, and his assistant They're both here this weekend. You get autographs from them and meet them. And George is filming that. They are filming that shot, and George is holding the gun and aiming at merry-go-round. This is a good one right here. I'm going to need maybe 5 volunteers to be zombies. Who wants to be a zombie? Oh, great. Come over with me here. Come close over here. Who is zombies? Come on, James. Come close. All right, awesome. So I got to figure out what place to follow. All right. In your program, you'll see the next thing that's on there following along is a shot of Sledge. He's fallen off the motorcycle. Peter again is in the ceiling somewhere firing and he's shooting everybody all over the place. Which is impossible. Okay, let's be Harvey Oswald. Anyway, okay, you see in the shot of Sledge in the back of the motorcycle. He falls off the motorcycle after he's shot, and you can see the view. Camera would be behind, he falls off over here, and you can see this whole corner in the column pattern in the shot. The next thing in your program, you see, after he is torn apart, which we do right now, my zombies come around here. Say, I am Sledge. You come in, and he's laying there, and you start tearing my guts out. Tearing my guts out. But then after all the fighters are torn up, and all those shots in the film, watch that right here, back up a little bit. The last thing you see is the shot of his arm. And you see a zombie come over here from there. You put your hand on here, and he slides his bloody hand across Sledge's arm. That is right here, and you can match it to what's in your program and what's in the movie. You can see the pattern of the floor, and it matches exactly right here. This is where his hand would have been. Thank you, zombies. Right here. All right. Another important spot is coming up right here. As it relates to the gentleman who we just saw above. Gets sort of grabbed by a zombie, which is the machete zombie played by Lennon Lees, who was just upstairs. He gave his approval to my tour. Funny thing is, he used to do tours here years ago. He's done a few, you know. So it was cool that he said no. So when he falls off the motorcycle, falls about over here somewhere, he gets up and turns around, and in the shot you see a doorway. That's this doorway here. Comes up, machete zombie's here, pulls the machete out, say goodbye, Creek. Put it right in here. Now, we are going through this very doorway and we are going back to the control room. A lot of people call it the boiler room. In actuality, they call it here, it's the HVAC room. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay, this was here. At the time of filming, he was asking about piercing pagoda because it's sort of a mall staple. They're in every mall. That's not where it was during filming. It was actually at the other end, right in front of the stairs. That would no longer there. So now, this is a very tight area. And I want everybody to have a good experience to be able to see control room, so I'm going to cycle. We're going to all line up to the control room. I'm going to bring in groups of 20 at a time. I have a little talk in there, and you can take photos and such. And I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see and take photos. But it'll take a little bit of time to cycle through 20 at a time in groups. But we get to see everything, you know, one at a time. And this is one of the places you can't come through on your own. Please do not have to put it back here.
Sorry.
The clock tower was actually removed in 1987. I had heard from many people over the years that had visited in that time in the 80s that they would come and the clock tower was not operating. See, this is what happened with the clock tower. When it was installed, it had puppets that would come out on the hour. I think 6 of them or so. I forget the exact number. Maybe 12, John's saying. I heard they were supposed to represent the nationalities of people who lived in the Pittsburgh area. So they would come out on the hour, 1 or 2 or something, and then on, I think maybe 6 o'clock or different times during the day, all of them would come out at once. Unfortunately, it was torn out because over the years some of the puppets stopped moving and such. And interesting story, he would say, hey, did anybody save any parts of the clock? Sadly, I've never heard of anyone saving any parts of the clock tower. But, one thing. I had heard from one of the guys who worked down in the control room. He worked there since the beginning of the movie. And one day he was looking through a drawer and he found that bird that you see on top of the clock tower with the cobwebs on it. In the movie, he found it in a drawer, but then he didn't think anything of it or anybody would care about it, just threw it out. Like, oh my God, any of us would kill to have that thing. But alright, this is what the clock tower was. Now we're going to go upstairs. Gathering close here. Okay, I'm sure some of you have noticed some similarities here. You have to if you're a long-time fan and you've watched a movie like 200 times like me, but even that might be a low estimate. But anyway, okay, this is the spot where they lock off the second set of doors. The car comes down the hallway, comes across here, and it parks here. So, Steven is in the back hatchback, he gets out. Peter comes around, stands beside him. In the shot, I think it's in there in your programs, you can see the marble pattern here on the wall. when you see Stephen and Peter standing here. You can see the marble pattern. It might not be in there. I can only fit so many photos. But this is where they have their little talk. And I always have to have the dialogue written down. I'm terrible with dialogue. I remember all kinds of facts and figures, but I have to write it down. So Peter's standing here next to Stephen, and he says, "We'll get him easy. We'll get it all locked off, and we're going on a hunt." And Stephen's right here beside him. Of course, though, if you look at the screenshot of Peter and the glass behind him, because it shows just his head, you see it has changed. It's not the same, shape of the stuff. It may have been replaced at some point and whatnot because renovations have to happen over the years. But in that shot of them standing together, you see that marble pattern again.
Doesn't he shoot with a big can?
Right. That's James. Gather around, people. All are welcome. All are welcome. Come in close so you can hear. As I said down below, this is the clock tower court. The clock tower would have been dead center. You see many shots in the movie of the clock tower court with the zombies milling about downstairs. Again, this escalator was not here. They had stairs on the other side over there. You even see this exact view of the clock tower court in the credits, in the main part of the movie, and you see all the zombies all over the place down below. This is it. Well, before we go any further, let me say one thing. In this general top area of the mall, I'd like to tell you the most interesting thing about it, but you know what? This section of the top of the mall was not used in the filming of the movie. The action resumes as soon as we get to the center court. Nothing was filmed in this top section here, but this is where we have all our celebrities this weekend, and you can find them, get autographs, take photos and stuff. It's where all our action is happening for the events. time where we go out and get smoker? If you wish, I mean, I'll be here like a minute or so, and then we move on. I want to too, but hey, I'm dedicated to you, bro. All right. So we right now are at the old main entrance to the mall. It's still sort of the main entrance to the mall. Behind me is the district. This was created in the year 2003, 2004. We finished then. At the time of filming, the front of the mall was flush, sort of, and that is where you see them park the first truck. And you have an overhang in front, and they park the truck underneath it. The car gets out, goes into the second truck, they go get another truck, and they go and park that by the second, where we started the mall school. That's the second place they park the truck. So it would have been flush against here. All this enclosure thing was built on later, years later. Also, after Peter plays tennis on the roof, you see a shot of the ball fall off the ledge. That's on the roof. Next shot you see of it is it going over ledge. That's in the back of the mall. And then when it falls off that ledge, the next shot is you see it coming in front of the mall where they parked the first truck. So those three shots to make up the scene are in three different places, not even related. But again, that's movie magic. Now we'll move on, and I'll show you a spot where a lot of people wonder about, they ask about. Oh, this gentleman just hit the nail on the head. He said, where was the arcade at? Well, I'm showing you right now. Right here. This now is Global Glorious Production. At the time of filming, this was an arcade. It was called North American Amusements. This is where they played all their arcade games. And I told you at the beginning, a lot of your questions, I'm going to answer them. I told you. Now let's move on. Everybody coming behind me? Coming behind me? Having fun? Informative? Coming behind me? My friends, come on. Coming behind me? A bunch of things to point out here. The mall that the heroes run through repeatedly. As I said earlier, this is where JC Penney's was. The hallway to their hideout is down there. We will get to it in a bit. So they always continuously run from their hideout across through here to JC Penney's. At the time of filming, where you see Go Toys, that is where the Brown Derby was. And you see that in many, many, many shots as they run through the halls and go from their hideout all the way to JC Penney's. And in this spot right here, taking up these two tours, was the Equibank. It's the bank in the movie where they go in and take all the money. Somebody had just asked me about it. And Peter said, money, 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 you know? They get the money in there in the bank.
What was the Brown Derby again? What is it?
Brown Derby is right there where Go Toys is.
Got it. Thank you.
Spot.
Missed it.
And there was actually a bank here for many, many, many years. I know a few people that were here on tours years ago in like 2003, I think it was. And they had a bank here. They were right here for the longest time, and at some point the bank left, and now they put in these other stores and made it 2 spots. Also of note, when the heroes look out over the balcony, which is over here, we're about to get there, you see a shot of the empty mall. But their view would have been over the Ice Palace, and it wouldn't have looked so good. So the actual empty view of the mall is facing this way. So I think that's in your program. It's just the shot. Following along. No, it's not in there. But you see the brown derby of them running by. And you see the expanse of the mall. This is their view this way. So now moving along over here, I'll show you where they did their speech. And I will do the speech. I'm not going to do a Tom Savini dive, you know?
Do it, do it.
Come close, come close. Come close. So as I said earlier, again, repeatedly, this is where the JC Penney's was. And if you look along the floor over there, you can see where the old floor meets the new floor that was put in when they ripped all the JC Penney's out. So that's the line I don't want to cross. Don't make me do it. I don't like it. But as I was saying, the heroes come up after they've done their shopping, they've relaxed, they own the mall, they're wearing their fur coats. They come directly up the center here, and they actually had a camera scaffolding here, and they had the camera on the top of it so they could get that shot of them coming up. And then when you see them in close-up, in the documentary footage on Documented and Dead, they are stood back a bit so the cameras could get in front of them, and that is where they do the speech. So you would have Fran here, you would have Steven here, you have Peter, and I guess, where was Roger? And he was in
The wheelchair?
he's right there in the wagon.
Wheelbarrow.
Which end?
He's in between.
I am not recalling. Okay, he's in between Peter and Steven. So, I mean, I guess I'll go through the whole thing unless some people want to be a part of it. I'll go through it. So Fran says, I'll be Fran, they're still here. They know we're still in here. Steven says, they're after us. Peter says, they're after the place. They don't know why. They just remember that they want to be in here. Fran says, what the hell are they? Peter says, they're us, that's all. There's no more room in hell. Steven says, what? Peter says, something my granddaddy used to tell us. You know Macumba? Voodoo. Granddad was a priest in Trinidad. He used to tell us when there's no more room in the hell, the dead will walk the earth. Comes in right here. Of course, as I was saying, this was JC Penney, so it had the escalator in the center, and then all the way at the far wall, near the exit beside it, was the elevator, and that's where Steven got bit, and all that, and he returns. They made that all zombies to their life. Jeff, how are you?
I know. I just think the battery, yeah. Okay.
Back and forth to JC Penney. But if you are paying attention to a lot of the photos and things out there behind the scenes photos. There is one photo in color of the heroes sitting on a bench, all tired and properly after the hunt. The bench would have been right here because you can see slightly some of the stores that are in the background on the sides, like Brown Derby and all the different things on the side. The bench would have been right here, and the view is this way.
Take care, brother. Get home safe.
All right, everybody. I know you've been roaming around the mall, and if you don't know for certain, now you do know this is the main hallway that our heroes come in and out of through the entire movie. If you're following along, you see the program shot of them, the four of them standing here as they're about to go on. Now, if we step over here, you guys are going to go down the hallway a little bit, and I'm going to reenact Steven's return as a zombie. So I don't want you all to go too far. I'll take you where I want you to stop. Okay, don't go any further than this machine here. I want you to be able to see, hopefully, down the center. Everybody come in. Don't go any further than that. Try to fit everybody in here in the hallway. Try to fit everyone in the hallway. Moving down. I'm going to come down the center, so you can go all around the sides here, but just let me go through the center. As the zombified Steven. Let me get ready.
I think it's going to be that actor. But also, if you remember when they first come up through this hallway in the movie, the guys stand right here where my friend Casey is. So Roger will be standing right here at the end of the hallway. I need my clipboard. I'm terrible with the dialogue, even though some people have it perfect in their heads. I have it written down. I want to do it right. So, Roger's here. Peter's next to him. Roger says, "What do you think? Bag it or try for it?" Peter says, "I'm game." Roger says, "Any lighter for it?" Peter says, "You got it." And they were standing right here. Go on in. close, everyone. As you walked around the mall, did you all figure out this was the hallway? Okay, okay. Come in close. Come in close. All right, this set of doors right here is where they go up through the back hallway to their hideout. This, of course, is where they build the fake wall. They make the fake wall right here so you do not see those doors. We don't want anyone to know that we're here. Of course, at one point near the end, Tom Savini comes chasing Peter up this hallway. Peter goes up into the ceiling. Savini comes running up with his sword, stabs into the ceiling, and he's like, I see you! Chocolate Man! Of course, you know when Steven returns down the hallway, he comes up with all the zombies behind him. You know, holding his leg, arm, and he starts chewing on the wall. Rah, 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 and they all bust down the wall and stream through this back hallway. We are all going back there. I have something, a little bit to tell you about, and it'll be a little cycle situation. We fit a bunch of people through there, and we'll wait on the other end, and then after we get everybody through this hallway, I take you to the actual stairs that led up to their hideout in the movie. So when you get out the other end, just wait for us to all get through. In here. Come on in the center. Come on in. We're trying to get as many people as quickly as possible. Okay, come close. Okay. In the movie, you remember after they come through the sort of boiler room, they come through the back hallway. They come through an alcove. Now you might think it's the one over there, but actually it's too far away. And if you look at the movie, you can see behind them, when they come out of the alcove, you see power boxes. It's those power boxes over there, very close to them. So then you say, okay, it must be here. Take a look. You can see where they filled in an alcove. Right here. It's new. It's not the old stuff. Also, how I know this is the spot is that in the movie, when Steven comes through, you can just barely faintly see on the wall somebody wrote BB&B, and that was the store that was right here in this spot. So this is where they come out of the alcove, and then after they had the whole incident with the Hare Krishna zombie, they come out of it and they place the body down. Of course, it's weird because they just lightly place it down. If it was just a dead body, they would have just threw it or whatever, but okay, maybe it's a little bit of a screw up. Whatever. They want to hurt him. So then again, this is that hallway, and also at the end, that's where when you see the shot of Steven and the zombies coming through the doorway, they come through the doors we just came through and stream back here and supposedly leads up to their hideout, although none of it is really connected in actuality. So anybody that just heard what I have to say, please come through and wait outside there before we move on to the next spot.
Excuse me.
Watch out, there's still zombies in the building.
Come on over here as close as you can.
Thank you.
Although I can't take you on the roof for safety reasons, I'll tell you a couple things out here about it. But also, right here in this spot, they would have had the camera many times in the movie, and you see many shots of the zombies out in this very parking lot. And there's a couple right now, this guy. That's Bob and Sandy O'Rourke, look at them. Many shots here. You can also see in the distance this road that is very steep and slants up. That is the road the bikers all come down at the end of the movie. Also, the truck station is supposed to be somewhere close by, and they bring the trucks down this road and across diagonally to the mall. Of course, the truck station is not there at the top of the hill. Don't even try to go up there. It's like 20 miles away in Irwin.
No.
Next exit down on the turnpike from Rover.
Don't go there.
It's actually a sort of school bus depot now.
Depot.
So this is the road. The bikers all come down. The trucks come down. Also note right here, if you turn around, if you haven't been out this entrance yet, you will see a shot in the movie of this square area. The view is actually from the camera being up there, and they have a view down. You see a zombie pushing a shopping cart down there. You have zombies milling about up here, and you see this square section. Do any of you remember that?
Oh yeah.
All right, this is it. The view would have been the camera up top, facing down through the levels. Actually, no, I just had here of the Profondo Cinema podcast and the WGON radio show podcast. He asked me, where does Fran shoot when she shoots the zombie that's between the truck that had just bitten Roger? Because you would think since they parked the trucks down there, she might be up by Macy's. But the thing is, she was actually over here. When you see her run up and they're blocking the trucks, you see the square there, which was blue at the time. She comes running up beside it, directly ahead. And the reason you also know the scene would be shot there is because they had a camera on this little roof. They got several shots there at the parking lot, and they could film Fran there. Mike Cornick could be on the smaller roof, and there is a one behind-the-scenes photo. And if you know the story, when Fran is shooting on one take, there's some kind of projectile on the blank that hits Mike Cornick in the leg, and you can see in the photo where Mike is on that little roof in front of her, where she's aiming the gun, and she actually shoots him in the leg. Right there, so the scenes of Fran coming up and walking up to the roof edge would be right there in front of the blue box, and she stands in front of it and looks out when blowing in her hair. Yes. Also, beside this, because it was blue at the time in the movie, you have the helicopter landing pad. It would have been directly to the right of it. And when the helicopter initially lands, you could see that square part of the building or whatever that might be, and it's blue, right in front beside the helicopter where it lands. So the helicopter lands and takes off from the spot right directly over here beside that white box. Of course, the big machine on top where it says it might be nuclear, are right there. They are not the same ones. They must have been replacement gears, but they don't match. Of course, just beside that is where Peter was playing tennis, a little bit beyond it. So all the main stuff that happens on the rooftop happens right over generally in this area here. Of course, you know, at the end of the movie, the helicopter takes off. The zombies are approaching towards the helicopter. It's right there, takes off, turns around, and heads off into the sunrise. And that is the end of the movie, and that is the end of the tour. Thank you so much for coming along. I worked many long years and doing hours and hours of research, and now I'm sweating buckets. And I do it all for you, but I also do it for myself because I'm obsessive like that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I love the film, as I know all of you must too. Good job, Larry. Thank you.
Yes,
I
nice
appreciate
job.
that from you especially. I really do. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Got to shake your hand. Sorry. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Dream come true, brother. My name is Lawrence. Larry.